Korean black eagles flying over the pyramids. This was the first. And other countries, they requested, not everybody can fly over the pyramid. Walking down in Gangnam, 6:30, when people are leaving, huge line, everybody waiting to get on the bus. Everybody is very polite, nobody's pushing anyone. Decent, educated citizen is important for the whole country.
Favorite restaurant in Hanamdo?
Yes, in this area.
Special dish that you chose here?
Well, it's very close to where I live and work, and also it serves some very nice Korean food, which I've been experiencing for the past almost 3 years since I've been here. I like barbecue myself. This is why I come here quite often.
Most favorite was the beef, right?
Yes, we are used to eating beef and lamb and vegetables in Egypt, so definitely yes, this was one of my best choices.
What is your favorite?
I would say the beef tenderloin is one of my favorite. What about you? Are you having?
I'm on you.
Okay, great. I think there's a bell here. It's somewhere here, there. Yes. You know, it's my first time to be in the private room in this restaurant.
Oh, really?
I usually sit outside because it's nice to see other people having dinner or lunch at the same time. Yes.
Oh, that is very surprising for you to sit over there.
It's part of being in Korea, restaurant culture. And this is very unique to have the barbecue on the dining table in the restaurant. We don't have this in Egypt unless it's a Korean restaurant. It is nice to feel the vibes of the restaurant in a Korean restaurant.
Is there any difference between the Egyptian restaurant and the Korean restaurant vibe?
It depends on what type of food you're going to eat. We have a very famous dish, it's called koshari. Usually it's a very nice and vibrant atmosphere. Here in Korea, when you walk in the streets and you look at the different restaurants and how Koreans and foreigners enjoy, it's very similar to the culture in Egypt. Because we like food also. Food is important, yeah. We don't cook the food ourselves or make the barbecue ourselves and ready to be eaten. But here, cooking ourselves the food and being helped by the waiter is also part of the social interaction while you are going out. So it gives you another addition to what you are doing at the restaurant rather than just ordering the food, it's ready, you eat and you pay and you leave.
Didn't you feel that, there are too many processes to do?
Definitely, yes. You have to work for your food. Too many small dishes, and this makes it more interesting to kind of try and know what the taste of different dishes are.
How about the restaurant system?
In Egypt, actually, when we finish the food, ask the waiter to bring the bill for you. So you pay at your table before leaving the restaurant. The funny experience for me when I first came to Korea, I was sitting, I finished the food, and I was waiting for the bill because I did not speak. There's the food, the delicious Korean beef. Kept waiting, we pressed the bell and I tried to communicate with the waiter. At the end I understand that I have to go and pay myself before leaving. So this is the only difference. I guess in Korea it's like practical. You finish and then you go to the waiter, the cashier, you pay and you leave. When you are ready to leave and you are full, then you just leave, yeah.
So this is your favorite?
Yes, yeah, and also I like this soup. I think important to have soup when you are having a meal. The variety of the dishes in the Korean cuisine is similar to what we have in Egypt. That's why when Koreans visit Egypt, they like the Egyptian food, but it's cooked different. Definitely soup is an important dish, but not in the summer because we have hot summers, so we don't consume a lot of soup. It's too hot.
How about the samgyeopsal, which is Korean summer dish? Have you ever tried it?
I did try very hot summer, and it's interesting how you consume sometimes cold soup. Yes, yeah. Clever way of having the grill right in the middle of the restaurant and you don't see any smoke, the exhaust and the ventilation. But usually barbecue in Egypt, it's outdoors and we use coal. Can I help you?
Oh,
Yeah,
sorry.
yeah. Quite tough. You need to have some good muscles.
You were sick.
Yes, I was...
You okay?
Yeah, I'm fine. No, when the change of weather, very easy to catch a cold or a flu or something like this. Yeah.
So you're still getting used to the Korean weather?
I think now this is my third year, so I'm more or less used to and know what to do. Beginning of autumn, winter, so I'm more cautious with what I wear. The first year I was here, I didn't realize how cold it was. I arrived in February. Yeah, so my first outing was to go to the river in February. I got out of the car and it was freezing and very windy. So I couldn't stay more than 1 minute outside and then just jumped back into the car and back home.
Why? What made you to go?
I was excited because in Egypt we also have the Nile River, the Han River here. So I just wanted to compare, and I like outdoors. I like going to spaces where a lot of green and outdoor. But of course I didn't realize that the Korean winter is really harsh. The wind, this is the problem here. That's why the weather right now, when it's not windy, it's very pleasant to walk around and go to parks.
Yeah, how about the summer?
Summer is quite hot and very humid. We also have very hot summer, but we always go to the north coast, to the beach. This is near Alexandria and the north coast on the Mediterranean Sea. And actually, I really invite all Koreans to visit Egypt either in the summer or the winter because they will enjoy it. We love the beach in the summer. How about we try some soup?
Oh, yeah.
What do you think? I think the ingredients of a lot of vegetables in the Korean kitchen is very healthy.
Yeah, because we use very many vegetables.
Actually, one of the interesting things about cooking and doing the barbecue, it's very nice when you go for the lunch hour, is to detach totally from work. You're concentrating on almost cooking your own food. So you forget work, you de-stress, you are kind of doing something enjoyable. This is why I like this restaurant. It has some things to do, let's say. Yeah. One of the challenging things was using the chopsticks. Yeah, I can pick something up and eat it. Exactly the same taste as Egyptian pickles.
Oh, really?
And this is the connection of cultures through food. I'm not a very good cook myself, but I try to be a person who enjoys the different tastes. I think the more you taste the food from different cultures, the more you understand more about this culture, how it evolved. Thank you. I'm Samira. Thank you. Very tasty. Very tasty and soft. Thank you. I think if this restaurant open a branch in Egypt, it will be very successful. One of the interesting things is how Korean food was in the K-drama presented. And this is how it became very famous among a lot of Egyptian youth. Through drama, you can see how other cultures go out to restaurants, how they date, how they gather as friends, how they gather as work colleagues. The Korean restaurant, I think it's a social experience with eating the favorite food. So if you are going for a special occasion, you would go to a special restaurant with probably the hano as a special, treat. Everybody started to realize, okay, it's not only the drama, but it's how the Koreans are eating. So people started to get interested in the ingredients of the food. And this is how K-food started to be promoted. I think it's a very clever way of introducing culture through food, through drama, through music. K-culture becoming a phenomenon worldwide because the young people are always interested to try something new, something interesting. And Korea is really a famous country through its many brands that are in the Egyptian market. But one of the things they don't know and they want to explore is the food. All these ingredients are available in the Egyptian kitchen, but they are cooked different. So why not to explore? Why not to see how it tastes if we cook it differently? As an ambassador, one of the things that are important is to try the food, to see how Koreans are eating, how they taste the food. Yes, because, a lot of the programs on TV are talking about food, and when you visit any country, part of knowing that country, besides knowing the people, knowing the culture, knowing the history, what about going to an authentic Egyptian restaurant? I think it would cross your mind if you saw a program about Egyptian food. And this is part of the Korean touristic experience, or people like us. I call Korea now home, because I've been living here for 3 years. In Korea, more than in Egypt, You know, I go just for my holiday and come back. For a tourist, when he comes here, I encourage them, please go out, go to a Korean restaurant. This is part of your experience. They will go, yes, visit Busan, you know, other cities, but try the food.
What was the most memorable food that you have tried outside of Seoul?
In Sokcho, I drove actually my private car to Sokcho. There you have the small fish restaurants.
The beach side?
Yes, yeah, and then they cook for you the fish. It was interesting, but it tasted different than what I'm used to. Driving back also was another experience.
Then have you tried raw fish?
Part of it was raw fish, yeah. I'm not very used to raw fish. I tried this raw fish just to see how it tastes, you know, because everybody was eating around in the restaurant. They are still alive, nothing's gonna happen, so we went on to try. I think behind every food there is something that is healthy. And actually the Korean table has many colors, and this is what makes it healthy. Ingredients, many vitamins, many minerals that are coming. Like here in the salad, you know, you have the different colors here.
Then how about the Egyptian table?
Yes, we have what we call traditional Egyptian salad, but we cut it in small pieces. Tomato will be chopped, the onions will be chopped, and they were all mixed. And then you put some vinegar, some lemon, and some oil on it.
Is there anything surprised you?
Well, Korean highways are world standard. You would find the same standard like in many first world countries. The highways here are very well built and very well maintained. One of the surprise things which I would like to see in Egypt actually on your plastic panels in the residential areas, that when you are driving, you know,
To block the...
yeah, and also you are planting on it greenery. Green plants are growing on it, so it gives it a very nice look on the highway. And I would like to see this in my country, because we have a lot of residential areas where there is a highway. One of the important things is the climate difference, because we have a lot of trucks traveling. So these trucks are heavyweight. So we are always building the highway and building another highway especially for trucks, for safety reasons and for the trucks to have their own way, because the trucks, maybe they need maintenance on the way, they need refueling, they need weighing stations for the amount of goods they are carrying and so on. So they create always some traffic jams. If you have the cars and the trucks, it's the same thing. Still a lot of projects to be built and a lot of opportunities for Korean companies to collaborate with Egyptian construction companies for highway. This is actually so good. I'm enjoying this so much. Actually, in Egypt, this is what we are doing. In the recent, we've built, I think, over 7,000 kilometers of highway, because we are building our infrastructure of highway, railways, and new airports, because we believe this is going to be very important for people, mobility, and for commerce, and for tourism. We are targeting to have 30 million tourists by 2030. We are now going to have the first high-speed train connecting different cities in Egypt, new airports for a tourist to be able to go from Cairo to Luxor, Aswan, Sharm el-Sheikh, Alexandria. Already you can travel. We have a good network of airports and flights. Also sleeping trains, because to go from Cairo to Aswan and Luxor, it's a 1,000 kilometer. Egypt is 1 million square kilometer. It's a very big country. So we all live on like 7% because the rest of the country is desert. And we are having new cities. We are building a lot of new cities in Egypt and smart cities. And actually, we are very keen to collaborate and have cooperation with Korea, like with Anyang. Actually, we have built the first phase of our new administration capital. And we have a MOU with Sejong, administration capital here in Korea. Egypt is not only about pyramids and temples and ancient things, but there is modern Egypt. And there, I really invite all Koreans to see the modern Egypt also, because there are opportunities for working and cooperation with Korea in that field. We can say that Egypt is really waiting to cooperate more. Roads, buildings, safety, services on the roads, emergency services, ambulances and fire services and so on. Because here you have a very good system that we are sharing the knowledge to build together. Also, learning Arabic language. Just a week ago, I visited Hankook University, the Arabic language department, gave a lecture there, and I found a lot of young Korean students interested to learn Arabic.
Even I'd like to learn,
Yeah.
but there's so many like.
The kh sound is difficult always for the foreigners. Like my name in Arabic would be pronounced Khaled. Khaled. But if you read it in English, it's Khaled.
Yeah,
You know?
Khalid.
Yeah, Khalid. And I'm glad to say that I've been trying to establish cooperation between University of Alexandria and Hankook University, and we are going to open a Sejong Institute for teaching Korean language in Alexandria University. I think we have a lot of young people in Egypt and a lot of young people in Korea both want to learn each other's language. I think it's very important to learn Korean, to understand Korea. And I'm very happy to say that we have a lot of young Egyptians, especially ladies, young ladies. They speak perfect Korean. And to be friends with Korean people and to know Korea, to live in Korea, I think you have to speak the language. Because when you speak the language, you know the culture. And when you know the culture, you are able to communicate. Unfortunately, I was a bad student. Maybe it's my age, but I should have put more effort to learn Korean language. I must say this, because some words mean something. You have here something everybody's proud of, that you say, he was my senior in high school. So you have the meaning of Jong, the connectivity. This is in the culture. You know, but if you know the word meaning, and you have many words which will give you some insight in the culture. And this is also a connection between Egypt and Korea, that we both have the family. It's important. Maybe with our new generations, they are more liberal. Maybe they want to be more on the individual lifestyle rather than within the family, but still it's part of our social history. It's always very important, you know, to have this connection with culture and language.
Was it when you were working in here that Bl랙이글스
Yes,
flew
yeah.
on the pyramid?
I was here in Korea, but I was on holiday in Egypt.
Oh really?
Yes, and the Korean embassy invited me on that day to go to the pyramid. And it was a very nice experience because I didn't plan, so I just went. I was wearing casual. I didn't go as the Egyptian ambassador in Korea. It was very enjoyable to see the Korean black eels flying over the pyramids and doing the different acrobatic, and also they flew with their Egyptian counterparts. It was a very good example of doing something. And to mention this, we all remember the black eagles on top of the pyramids. The pyramids don't exist anywhere. So my next dream is to have a K-pop performing at the pyramids.
What?
I want you to imagine this, a concert, a world concert
Yeah.
at the pyramids for one of the K-pop.
But that is
Companies.
the cultural heritage.
Yeah, it's a cultural heritage, but it is a site, world-known concerts. We had Andrea Bocelli, we had Yanni, and we have many, many years ago before I think you were born, Frank Sinatra singing at the pyramids, and this was a very special event. So why not a K-pop from Korea, and you have all the fans, all the armies going to Egypt for tourism and going to this very special once-in-a-lifetime concert at the pyramids.
Don't you worry about the damage of the pyramid?
No, there will be no damage. It's the backstage. They have a special setting for these concerts and arrangement. So there's no damage to the pyramids. Of course, this is our national heritage and we would not take a risk, you know, to damage it. I've been to one of the concerts there and it's amazing setting, you know, because it doesn't exist anywhere else. Next year, we are celebrating 30 years of diplomatic relations. So I hope one of the entertainment companies would take their K-pop group and do this big concert there in Egypt. It's like the flights over the pyramids.
Yeah,
You know, this picture will stay forever, you know?
That is the first time of Egypt invites the other country.
Yes, that's true.
Above the pyramid, but why was the Korea?
You see, we have very good relations between our two countries, and Korea is very interested to develop relations with Egypt. Your defense market is growing definitely, and Egypt is really keen to collaborate and expand its relations in the defense field with Korea. But I must say, this was the first, and other countries after this, they requested, and we had another air show in one of the newest cities that we have on the Mediterranean. It's called Al Alamein, and we had Al Alamein air show, and I think we had other countries having an air show also there. So I think Korea was the door opener, and everybody was like, okay, we want also to be there to show our industry and aerospace industry, because everybody is like, we are in an open market. Everybody's like competing, and if Egypt is interested to acquire certain aeroplanes or certain defense equipment, then each country is marketing. And this was a very good marketing for the Korean company to have the airplanes flying over the pyramids and participating in an air show in a very unique spot. Not everybody can fly over the pyramids. It's a special.
How dare!
You know, actually, this is something I want to mention. Take a plane and you can have paragliding over the pyramid, and you can have like skydiving, and you jump over the pyramid and they film you. This is a very unique thing for any tourist that like adventure tourism. They should do this in Egypt.
Your family also came to Korea?
Yes, not all my family. My son, he came to Korea. He stayed for 20 days. He enjoyed it very much. The problem which I'm trying to solve is to have direct flights, because we still don't have direct flights. It takes 22 hours. I think one of the things I would like to do as an ambassador here is really to see direct flights between Egypt and Korea, because we are partners in so many things. You know, it will make life easier for everyone. You don't want to spend 22 hours to reach there. I mean, if it's a direct flight, it's 10 hours. It's okay, you know. It's important that we connect people to people, because now everybody wants to travel, especially after the COVID. You know, we stayed for almost 3 years disconnected. We want to reconnect again. And we are a country that is always opening its arms for tourists, and especially from Korea. I mean, Korea is around 50 million, and half the population of Korea goes on tourism. Maybe you go around the countries that are near to Korea, but a lot of people are going to Europe, going to the US, and so on. So we would like to see a big share of Korean tourists. We have beautiful golf courses, you know, amazing. And I know Koreans everywhere, you have indoor golf courses, you know, so when you practice in the indoor, you can go and play there. So we need to have this direct connectivity. And I know the airline industry has been facing a lot of challenges, but I think we need to open up for our people to interact more. Yes. Yeah, I mean, I have a lot of goals. I'm very ambitious to see a lot of goals happening, yes, yeah.
Just mentioned that direct flight and the K-pop concert on pyramid.
Yes.
And there's what else?
I want actually more young Egyptian people to come here and study in Korean universities. A number of universities that are providing top educational opportunities. In Egypt, traditionally, everybody wanted to go to Europe or US. I know it's the same thing here. A lot of Koreans, they want to go to the US and Europe. But since we are partners, education is very important. What I saw here from Egyptian students who are studying here, they are really improving and excelling in their academic life and professional life. I visited a number of universities here, and I plan to visit a little bit more, and really to ask for more scholarships, because I want the young Egyptians to know really how Korea did this miracle on the hand. Everybody says, wow, Korea transformed from one of the poorest countries to one of the most famous and richest countries, and it doesn't mean you don't have challenges. You still have challenges that you have to face. Like, for example, we all are facing climate change. This is a big challenge, and in Korea it's very visible. You can see it, you know. So I want the Egyptian young people to see how this experience developed, and when they go back to Egypt, try to implement what they have learned here. And education is a very important. I want to see Korean schools in Egypt. Korean schools are important.
Korean people say we have to lose our Korean education system because this is too harsh.
I agree with you. It's quite harsh, because how the Korean student wakes up in the morning very early, goes to school, and then after school activity, and then finishes his homework and everything 11 o'clock at night, and then he wakes up again. It's a very stressful system for a child, which needs to be, you know, a bit more flexible. But definitely, yes, at the end of the day, you have certain things that you learn in school. Makes you a responsible citizen and a disciplined citizen. Disciplined decent, educated citizen is important for the whole country. Like yesterday, I was walking down in Gangnam, and it was around 6:30 when people are leaving the offices, and I saw a huge line, everybody waiting to get on the bus. Everybody is very polite, nobody's pushing anyone, everybody's waiting in their order. I'd like to see this in Egypt, that you have to respect your order. You are waiting for a bus, okay. You don't have to rush. You came first, then you get on first, then and so on. These are things you learn from other cultures, because if you have a chaotic situation at the bus stop, you will not have anyone getting on the bus in the first place. You might find people arguing, no, I came first, no, I came first, no, I'm in a hurry, no, you will find a chaotic situation. And this is what sometimes can happen in other countries, and for Koreans, they will look at it as a very, because in Korea, they don't understand. Deal with the situation, even if it's a very long queue, they just stand and wait. Although it has been a hard-working day, and it's at the end of the day, and they want to go home, they have other things to do at home, I think these kind of things, they teach. So when you have Egyptian students coming here, seeing how the Korean people work, how they go home after work, there is something that I like to say. Yes, Korea is a beautiful country, but you have to work hard. You don't get anything for free. You have to be dedicated. And there is a concept of work hard in Korea. And this is what we need to put in our culture, that you have to work hard to achieve your goals in life.
Like a motivation.
Motivation. If I see the picture from outside, but how do you do it?
Our heading.
Yes, it's nice to work hard, to be dedicated and so on. But at the same time, it's also nice to enjoy the life, enjoy a nice food, enjoy a nice trip and travel and see other cultures. So it's both ways. Yes, young Koreans, I think, are eager to know other cultures. But maybe if I go to Egypt, will I be able to bargain in the market? No, I don't want to go to the market. I prefer to go, It's a way of getting to know each other, because it doesn't mean that we are afraid from each other. No, we just have to meet halfway. And once you really know Egyptians, they are very warm, very kind people and welcoming, It's just the language barrier, but I think we are able to deal with all nationalities because we've been always a touristic country. We have so many tourists from all over the world. So we definitely love the Korean tourists and the Korean people and, just like welcome. This is something very much seen in Egypt through the years. One of the things I'd like to see is a co-production of an Egyptian-Korean film, because Egypt is known as the Hollywood of the East, of the Middle East. We had the first film in the Middle East because we had so many culture ingredients in our movie industry. We have an industry of filmmaking, and actually we have a few dramas that have been bought the copyrights from Korean dramas. Like Misty is a Korean drama. It was 2018.
Oh, yeah.
This was adapted in the Egyptian version, and it's called Between the Lines. And we had the famous one, which was called Extraordinary Attorney Wu. We also adapted this in an Egyptian version.
So you are remaking.
It's remaking, and I know a lot of Egyptians, they come here to production companies and they buy from them the copyrights to remake. I was just looking at the Busan Film Festival, and I was saying, why not to invite Egyptian actors and actresses? And last year we had the Arab Film Festival. The opening film was an Egyptian one called Kira and Al Jinn. This movie was an action movie, fight the British colonial occupation of Egypt. And you have a similar situation in the history of Korea. Egypt is a very good location to film Korean dramas. Mediterranean area, the desert area, the historic areas. So it can be some kind of a thriller or a love story or some family traveling to Egypt. Actually, there was one story that was written by an Egyptian. Part of this story is in Korea and part of its story is in Egypt, and it's about a famous taekwondo champion. And this taekwondo champion was Egyptian. He actually became the world champion here in a tournament. This story is about how this champion was at one point diagnosed with some illness which made him sit on a wheelchair. But because he came to Korea so many times in so many tournaments, he was coming to Korea at different times in the history of Korea. So this setting of the story is in Egypt and in Korea, and the link between them is this taekwondo. I hope somebody can translate this story. I have it in Arabic into Korean and write it into a script and make it into a film to be filmed in Egypt and in Korea. And taekwondo is a Korean sport, which became a world-known sport. Part of my job as an ambassador is to promote culture between and to find the commonalities that we can connect each other, you know. And this is, I'm very enthusiastic and passionate about this story actually.
Yeah, I can see. I think we have to feel more.
Yeah. This was very filling, it was very nice, and I'm really enjoying that. Thank you.